All right, we're doing the same thing for this one as we did on the prior two. We're looking at the graph and we're finding out what is a polynomial that fits this graph using the roots that we've got. So for right here we have three roots. We've got one here at -6. And then we have a double root. Because it comes down and bounces off the x-axis, there's a double root right there. There are two zeros. Okay? So we need to write this equation in standard form. So we'll start off by putting in our factors. So we got f of x. And the 0 is easy. If ever you have a 0, it's simply, remember how whenever we get stuff like, we factor, we got x plus 2, and x plus 3. You got these two are -3 and -2, and this one is always equal to 0. Well, that just means there's an x out front. Alright, so if you have a root of 0, that just means there's an x out front. In this case, since there's two zeros, it's an x squared out front. So don't let that freak you out. And then for the -6, it's x plus 6. Alright, and there's really nothing funky to do with this at all. You just need to distribute this and get it in standard form. So when I distribute that x squared, f of x equals x cubed plus 6x squared. Cool? Let's do the next one. For number 17, what are the real zeros of the function? Well, the real zeros here are, now always pay attention to your scale. Remember this one right here is -8. That was -8, so these are by 2s. This is 2, 4, 6. So we got -2, which there's two of them at -2, and there's one of them, and there's one at -4. And here's another thing to look at. We also have a y-intercept at 16, so I kind of want to pay attention to that. So I make sure my constant at the end equals 16. All right. So we have two -2s and one -4. So f of x equals x plus 4. And then we have two -2s, so we have an x plus 2 and an x plus 2. And we just need to start multiplying this sucker out. So here we go. X plus 4. So 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times that's 4x. X times 2 is 2x. X times x is x squared. So f of x equals x squared plus 6x plus 8, and we still have x plus 2 to take care of. So if I do x plus 2, I've got 2 times 8 is 16, 2 times 6 is 12, 2 times 1 is 2, x times 8 is 8x, x times 6 is 6x squared, and x times x is x to the third. So for this one, when I add those up, f of x for this one is going to equal x cubed, 6, 7, 8, so that's 8x squared, plus 20x, plus 16. And remember, so that's your factor. Fraction. That is the equation that fits this graph. Now, I told you earlier to pay attention to this one right here. So we have a y-intercept of 16, therefore, and look, it came out that way, so there we go. It worked out. Now, what if it didn't? Real fast, what if it didn't? Let's say this right here was a 32. All right? Well, what would I need to multiply 16 by to get it up to a 32? I have to multiply by 2. So I'd have to multiply the entire thing by 2. So I would get f of x equals 2x squared plus 16x plus 40. That is a 4, believe it or not, plus 32. Now it's got the y-intercept of 32. Let's say this was let's say it was an 8. Let's say it crossed it at 8. Well, in that case, you have to divide everything by 2. So instead of this one down here, you would now have f of x equals 1/2 x cubed plus 4x squared plus 10x plus 8. And that doesn't matter what it is. It can be anything. It could cross at any point whatsoever, and whatever ratio it takes to make this, whatever you have to multiply this by, to make it that, you go ahead and multiply everything on the equation for that. Okay? Not sure how often that's going to pop up, but food for thought.